Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and beautiful little lovelies out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious on this 10th of June 2026. I hope that we're feeling the love. You continue to feel the love. Yeah, I do not always do that. I sort of forget myself. Anyway, this week, my delicious little babies, what I'm going to be doing is getting some new batteries for my little baby behind me, and I'm going to be getting some new batteries for my beautiful little arts, and I'm going to be buying some beautiful new little arts, okay? So I hope that wherever you are in the world, that life is treating you most deliciously. Listen, I've got so much to say in such a short space of time, my delicious babies. Now, if we go back to 2005 and we look at a dear young woman called Lavina, Levena, in 2005. Martin babies, what was she in Iraq? I'm going to leave that now for you, Martin babies, okay? Um, let's just say I've looked at a lot to do with this reality, Martin babies, and yeah. Very interesting indeed. There's another dear gentleman called Miller who I was listening to earlier. His surname was Miller. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm not really going to be saying much else. There we are to do with this. Okay, my delicious little babies. But I'm pretty sure that ones will get there. There we are. The gist of what I'm saying. Okay, my delicious little babies. Yes. Now then, before I come off that, yeah, lots of things happened, don't they, my delicious little babies? You know, when you're in the army now. Whoa, whoa, you're in the army now. Yeah, lots of things happened, don't they, my delicious little babies? But anyway, so let's go on to something else. So I was listening. Oh, bless. Now, what's been uploaded, because I happen to be subscribed to not in that way with anybody. Dear, lovely David Mahoney. Yes, I got it right. So I did read it right, my delicious little babies. So what's the fact? He's got married. Oh, yes. You know, I'm getting married in the morning. You know what I mean? And what happened was, it's so beautiful. So it's David Mahoney, Awakening of the Soul on YouTube. Martin Bozar is now up to 2.73 thousand subscribers. Oh, so happy. Because you know the reason why? Because he had a feeling that, you know, this dear woman was coming towards him. He could feel it. Oh, and then it happened again. Anyway, it turns out this was a whirlwind romance. Oh, I just love it. I just love it so much, you know what I mean? Because it's so feel good, you know what I mean, Martin babies, okay? So at the end of the day, I mean, okay, we can look at things two ways now. Okay, so we can look at, let's get serious about this. So we can look at, so congratulations, our lovely dear David Mahoney and your lovely dear little Heather. Oh, may you have so much happiness and peace and love and tranquility. Oh, may you be blessed with so much love. Okay. So very much love to you both, okay? Oh, I love this. I really do. So I do have my nice times, my delicious babies. Do you understand what I mean? I know it looks like I'm a bitch at every other time, but you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this is fan-dabby-dozy, yeah, that's all right. Oh, it's beautiful. I just think it's wonderful. And like, let's get back to the matter in hand. So anyway, please look at the comments that I put. Oh, it's just so beautiful, you know what I mean? Because usually, sometimes I put like lots of comments, sometimes not, but with the majority of them, oh, look at that, Ocado's just gone up the road. Okay, my Delish babies anyway. So, and of course, there's been another car across the road that's just been sold. KK. Anyway, my Delish babies, but the point is, my Delish babies, is this is that, you know, he's talking about, there we are, companionship. And I really, there we are, get where he's coming from, my Delish babies. So to myself, I see it as, yes, this is beautiful, wonderful, and delicious. Because you probably get to that age in your life, you know, where you want that companionship. So I really got where dear David, there we are, was coming from. Okay, my delicious babies anyway. Oh, beautiful news. I'm so happy. You know, like with all the shit that happens in the world, it's really lovely. There we are, my delicious babies, to have something good to listen to. There we are, good to listen to. You know what I mean, my delicious babies. So good on you, dear David. You scored a goal. You know what I mean? It's just so beautiful. Okay. Anyway, my delicious babies, let's talk about trees. So, I'm just talking about all different things today, my delicious babies. So anyway, I wasn't even going to do a video, but when I came through the door, I thought, you know what, starting me curry, you know. I thought, you know what, because I love a good curry. There we are, my delicious babies. It's even better when, you know, you take your time to cook it. If you cook it too quickly, well, you do not get the full benefit, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, you just got to leave it on that simmer for a bit longer. But anyway, my delicious little babies. But yeah, trees. If you look at trees, my delicious babies, well, trees are beautiful, aren't they? It doesn't matter how small they are, how tall they are, how thin they are, how thick they are. You know, it doesn't really matter, does it, my delicious babies? I notice there's a lot of caps and there appears to be an ironing board. Okay, my delicious babies. Well, anyway, the point of the matter is getting back to the trees now, then, the matter in hand. There's lots, there we are, of beautiful trees, isn't there, my delicious babies? And of course, as we very well know, trees can look most beautiful. I totally agree with that. But as well as trees, there we are, can look very beautiful. Okay, for every different tree. Imagine if you walked out in nature now, my little babies, and you passed every single tree, how tall they are, how short they are, how thin they are, how fat they are. Some are medium. Okay, my delicious little babies, you will usually, generally, for myself anyway, find beauty in looking at a tree. But of course, if we're talking about man now, then, you know, because man is man, there we are, Martin Baby's old fashioned Jamaican saying. Well, a tree can look beautiful, can't it? But it depends. There we are. Okay, let me stop going around the houses now, then, Martin Babies. Let's just get to the point. So, you could have a little tree that could be really tiny, and at the end of the day, you know, this little tree is, let's just say, very innocent, never done anything. Oh, there we go. Here comes our beautiful little Maisie. Never done anything, you know, in their lives. A beautiful little tree, you know what I mean? But they're just so sweet, you know what I mean? And so what it is, they meet another tree now then, and they get together. Oh, look at this, my camera's going over. Okay, little Maisie, see, she's just moving the camera. Thank you, my beautiful little Maisie. And then, of course, you can get two trees together where, you know, what happens is, my delicious babies, is that, you know, they get together and, you know, they do everything together and they can be so very beautiful together. And that's the two tree together, isn't it? then you'll get another two little trees where they grow up together, and then they find that one little tree wants to do one thing now, and another little tree wants to do another thing. Maybe they're branching off in different directions. And then, of course, you got another little tree. See, I could go on and on. And then, of course, you got another little tree where, one little tree wants to do something now, the other little tree is happy with it. There we are, with the setup, you know what I mean? Martish, baby. So you got that kind of little trees. And then, of course, you got the other little trees where, what happens is that, one little tree could meet another when they're growing up. The trees grow and grow and grow, don't they, Martelish, the babies? And what happens is that, maybe it could be, I don't know, maybe with two little trees, one personality and the other personality is just as they are strong as the other, you know what I mean, Martelish, babies, yeah. But as I always recall with little trees, Marty, babies, they've got a good way of, they see everything, they hear everything, but they cannot speak to say. You know what I mean, Marty, little babies? So yes, I totally agree with the tree bit. I'd be very careful as well, especially as the fact that for myself, put it this way, whatever o'clock, there we are, that I've been spied on. So for myself, I'm always, there we are, very careful of little trees, you know what I mean? Or larger trees, mad little babies, yes. But we must remember, we've got the key, we got the secret, we got the keys to another place. We've got the key. There we are. We got the secret, we got the keys to another place. Okay, my delicious, there we are. Okay, my delicious babies, yes. I've just got 1978. Now, what we've also got to remember here, my delicious babies, let's just remember, oh yes, let's just remember what's going on right now, my delicious babies. So what have we got? We've got Henry Novak in England. We have got another Irish, it appears, man in Belfast. Yeah. I know somebody who went to Belfast rather recently, Martlish babies, yeah. You see, it's all, there we are, a stage, isn't it, Martlish babies? But if you connect the you see, I know this because I talk in my flat, which of course the buggies, there we are, can hear everything what I'm saying now. Even down to who I was talking to at the weekend, little family. They even, there we are, they know that. My delicious babies, she says, I'm saying yes. So they know the names, you know what I mean? There we are, they just pull out names, a bit like pulling a name out the hat. You know what I mean? Martelish babies, yes. But if you look at Poland and what's been going on over there over the months and weeks, and there we are, years actually. Now, I happen, there we are, to know about this, okay, over the weeks and months and years. There we are. Okay, Martelish babies. It just is very strange to myself that you had the Polish, the Scottish, and the English, and then you had the Sikh, or what, Hindu or Sikh, or what was going on there, my delicious babies, yes, okay. Take a look at Poland months ago now then, we are seeing plenty footage on this, where they never wanted, little Maisie's jumped down now, where they never wanted a certain coming over their borders, which was Muslim, and they said that they'd shoot them, you know what I mean, on sat, basically. You know what I mean, Martish babies, just words to effect. Okay, Martish babies. Then, of course, you've got it in Belfast. I've already, there we are, clocked the whole lot. Okay, Martish babies. I'm not saying if this is real or if it's not, okay. go back to the blood what I was talking about, okay? There we are, days ago on my videos, okay? I know what I'm there we are, I know what I'm talking about, but yesterday's video that I put out to do with Albania, Russia, China, that only got one view, mad delicious babies, you know what I mean? But really, for myself, I know it got, there we are, a lot more views, seen and hearing, yes. Whoever it is, good on ya. There we are, for listening to my video. There we are, wherever you are in the world. Okay? Because at the end of the day, they're not a liking. You know what I mean? So if they keep me like in my little box, there we are, so that I'm not getting anywhere, I'm not doing anything, there we are, then that suits them better. You know what I mean? My delicious babies, okay? But the fact of the matter is this, at the end of the day, when you actually take a very good look at what's going on, so they're saying Sudan, is it Sudan that they're saying, I'm pretty sure, has done this. Well, you see, I was listening to our lovely UK column today, my delicious babies, okay, with anybody, like I just said, not in that way, not in that way. And I was listening to everything that Mark was saying. Mike. Okay, my delicious babies, yes, that doesn't mean giving head. Now then, my delicious babies, but I agreed, there we are, with everything what he just said earlier. Because, you see, I'd already, there we are, clocked this, and I had a feeling about Henry Novak. Now, I'm wondering, my delicious babies, okay? You see, something didn't sit right with myself to do with the court, to do with everything. It never sat right. It never sat right the way that the young man, you know, with this, well, it's before a turban, it's something else. But anyway, that's not me being rude or disrespectful. Anyway, there was something that was off when he went like that with the eye, everything. But what I was doing was, there we are, cutting through the crap and going, there we are, to the blood donations. Okay, sometimes legal, there we are, sometimes illegal. Okay, marriage bags, which you will actually find that really, however you dress it up in pink and yellow and red and purple little birds, that it's all illegal. Illegal. Okay, marriage baby. So I was clocking, there we are, every damn thing, isn't it? Yes. So I know what I was talking about, but of course my videos just do not get out. But that's all right, that's all right. I'll just go on and on, I just keep on trying. And I smile when I feel like crying. On and on, on and on, on and on. Do, 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 do. Tom. Do, 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 sa. Do, 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 do. Okay, my delicious babies. So, beautiful. Dear little sweet little neighbour now then. She's so beautiful, you know, she's Spanish. Okay, my delicious babies. So, you know, Spanish and Indian. You know what I mean? My delicious babies, yeah. So, you see, I really feel right now, there we are, my delicious babies, that I've said rather a lot in a very short space of time. What are we on? Is it 18:38? You know what I mean? See, with myself, I can come on my camera, my delicious babies. I never ever pretend to be somebody who I'm not. So, what you see of myself, there we are, surely what you're going to get. You know what I mean? Even when I used to do my readings, you know, okay, if I want to wear something on a particular day, but no. I'm just not that kind of woman, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? I am who I am. I am what I am, and what I am, there's no mistaking. I like to make words up as I go along, listen. Shirley Bassey, wasn't it? I haven't said her name for quite a long time, you know what I mean? My delicious babies, yes. So yeah, so you can see what's going on here. They're trying their utmost to oh, beautiful little baby now then. Tiny little baby, nearly 1 year of age. You know what I mean? Just starting out their lives, you know what I mean? My heart goes out to any dear family in the world where they've got tiny little babies now then. Mine are grown up, you know what I mean? So I do not have to worry, and neither do I worry. Not at all, not at all. My delicious babies, you know what I mean? I know that birth my daughters, there we are, bless their beautiful dear little souls, there we are, with their dear dad, there we are, more than capable of looking after their own damn selves, isn't it? Yes. Just like myself. I'm very good, there we are, at looking after myself. Yeah. You know what I mean, my delicious babies, yeah. So I don't worry about things. You know what I mean? What's the point? What's the point in worrying? It's not going to get you very far because I got the key, I got the secret, I got the keys to another place. I got the keys, I got the secret, I got the keys to another place. I'm loving this, you know. You know, with to whom it may concern. There we are. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it to whoever you are. Because it's a bit like cat and mouse. There we are. It's a bit like cat and mouse, isn't it? Which leads me on to the last thing that I want to mention today, Martish baby. Sorry, I just must mention a few others, which of course, I do as a hobby, my delicious babies. So we got the lovely The Mal Care Show. Okay, my delicious babies, so you pop on to quack, quack, go. Please type that in because when I type in, and thank you, because when I type in, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, when I happen to type it in, it seems that go now then, you know, go. There we are. What's going on now, man? What's going on? Okay. I remember years ago I could look at it, anything at all, but not these days. It seems that our beautiful little, not in that way, not in that way, our beautiful little Mel Kay and her dear husband Rob, okay, it doesn't seem that I can find them on Mornings with Malcare, so I then go to their website. Okay, my delicious babies, okay, yes. This is a game that they're playing. Okay, my delicious babies, there we are, when you get the gist of what's going on, yes? Ding, ding, dong, dong, yes? That's what's happening. Okay, my delicious babies, so we got the Malcare show. Okay, if you could please, and thank you. I wouldn't really go on the Google bit, and I am going to say it now, my delicious babies. I really wouldn't go on the Google bit because you ain't really going to find much. You know what I mean? They'll just bury it, bury it, bury it. You know what I mean? What they do not want ones to hear. You see, they do not want anyone to see, and they do not want anyone to hear. Well, there we are. I'm advertising. And secondly, we've got World Alternative Media with our dear Josh, not in that way, not in that way. His number's not moving. I'm going to keep repeating it, okay? I noticed with Simon Dixon on YouTube, his numbers have gone up one, so it's 171,000 now, my babies, with Mornings Mal Care. On a Rumble, it's 218,000. So those numbers have gone up. I'm really pleased about all of this, okay? But who else is it that I want to talk about? The Crow House. The Crow House. It's 3 words into one, my delicious babies. You can find the Crow House on Odyssey. That would be, I feel, that one, and Rumble would, I feel Odyssey. I always go to Odyssey, would be the best one. You've got Eyes. All together again, my delicious babies. Eyes is watching, although it appears at the moment he's only posting videos on BitChute. It looks like that's what it's coming up as, which I do not have a VPN at the moment, my delicious babies. But if you've got a VPN, you can then listen to our dear Ours is watching, our dear The Crow House. You know what I mean? They're all so beautiful and dear, not in that way, okay? And then you'll get the gist of what's going on here. I keep saying gist, don't I, Martlish babies? Anyway, I'm due to bake a cake today. I've already done my curry. I'm going to bake, there we are, my lemon cake again, because it's absolutely fabulous. It requires a number of eggs, my delicious babies. It also requires milk. It also requires butter. Or if you can get something which is for cake baking, you know, just get that. That would, there we are, that would do marvellously. Okay, my delicious babies. But I needed a set of scales, so as my Waitrose delivery is coming tomorrow, I thought, well, I've got a John Lewis set of scales, Martlish. You know, scales can be used for a lot, can't they, Martlish babies? I remember decades ago when I was in jewellery, you know, they never used to use the big scales, you know, the big old fashioned ones where you have to measure, you know, so you got the cast iron and then you got the metal on top. No. These were smaller, like about like this. They look silver, martelish babies, and yeah, that's how you weigh. There we are, the gold. You know what I mean? Or the silver, martelish babies. Anyway, they're both sold. There we are, very well, actually. Okay, martelish babies, but let's not forget the engraving. Okay, martelish babies, let's not forget the emeralds and rubies. Oh, there is the sapphires. Okay, Martlish babies, let's not forget any of these things. I've just got coral. Let's not forget the coral. Ah, was that when I was in transfer? I thought now where I was. Was I in Egypt or was I in Turkey? I don't know. Could have been Turkey. Was it in Turkey or Egypt? Where you can snorkel, and then one of the snorkelers off the birds, bless the beautiful dear little soul. They said we're not supposed to get coral. I said, well, if you can get some, could I have a piece? Yeah. And due to all the moving that I've done, Martlish babies, which totals at this moment in time 35 times, and I'm 52 Martlish babies, which is not old. It just means there we are that I've just moved around rather a lot. Not in that way. But the point of the matter is, Martlish babies, I did have a piece of coral. They said, well, you're not really supposed to have this. Says, but I'll give it to you. I said, thank you very much. Okay, Martlish babies, okay. Then you got to go to what they call the ends of the earth, you know, where they've got lots of salmon and lots of everything, Martlish babies, you know what I mean? They show you there we are how they live. Supposedly at the end of the world, Martlish babies. Now then, finally, what I want to talk about, Martlish babies, is this. Dear, not in that way. Gary, capital G, and then space, capital W, Waterman on YouTube, Martlish babies. Now, I've just listened to his videos that he's uploaded because I'm subscribed to him. That he's uploaded Martlish babies, okay? And anyway, normally I just put thank you, Gary, and bright blessings to you always. Like I said, I usually put comments, there we are, short and sweet, unless, there we are, there is specifically something that I need to put. Other than that, that's all I do. Okay, but of course, YouTube, they're very good Martlish babies that basically at flipping trying to shout on me from a very high heart. You know what I mean? Martlish babies, okay? And then they'll put me on pause. And then they'll stop me from commenting. They'll stop me from doing anything, Martlish babies. Anyway, I've already sent my harps this week. So I'm sorry to anybody else, but I've sent my harps to my beautiful and wonderful Alex Cristoforo. So please join his channel or the do ran, the capital T space D Duran. Duran. Okay, Martlish babies, but I've sent all my harps to him. Because it appears to myself, Martlish babies, that these harp business, I reckon, see, There we are, because it's all in the net, isn't it? So it's they're working out from what devices ascending these harps. There we are. That's my thoughts with my noddle, my dish babies. Yes. Anyway, I'm due to colour my hair tomorrow. There's a lot of grey. There's a woman who she's not long left, has she, in America, Marge? Is it Tulsi Gabbard? She used to have dark hair and she used to have this one part of grey. It used to always remind me. It's such a shame because, I do not mean it in that way. Please do not get me wrong, okay? But, she's an attractive woman. I do not mean it in that way, clearly. An attractive woman, but she had all the dark hair and she had one grey part. I was always quite, um, let's just say, intrigued as to why she did that. I've seen her years and years ago, Marducious Little Babies guy. It reminded you of, the Addams family. Do-do-do-do. 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 The Addams family, so you got Frankenstein and you got, which I suppose we call Queenie. That's my word in Mardish space, all dark hair and just happy. Okay, Mardish babies, but remember the angel yesterday, the Bondi, where you had, the long, I just never said it. I was herping, there we are, that others would get. Ding, ding, dong, dong, what I'm saying. It's like you can see this long blonde hair, mind you. You can always tell with a woman, can't you, Mardish, little babies, you know what I mean? All by the eyebrows, unless women with eyebrows decide to tint or change the colour. Because usually what's upstairs is usually downstairs, you know what I mean, Mardish babies, yeah? So call me raw. There we are. I'm just done saying it the way it is. But yeah, when you see, like little angels, well, they look like little angels, don't they? Because they have their hair all pristine and everything, but you just couldn't see the birds. Who on earth would create that? But you cannot see. Mind you, she's not very well, is she, Marty? She's little babies. There's others, isn't there? And yet, they all, served. This is a really old table. This was donated to myself, Martin Babies, but this is a really old table. There is a part on it actually where somebody wrote ho ho. Ho ho, as in it's Christmas. Like that, Martin Babies. Who sang that? Do you know who I'm talking about? It's Christmas. You know who I'm talking about, Martish babies, yes. The fake Grimbo. Anyway, Martish babies, so yes, when you look at that, then you see that, there's no... Anyway, she's gone, hasn't she? Got thyroid trouble, is it? Is it thyroid? Or am I incorrect there? I do not know. Thyroid happens to be one of the most important glands in the body, and I know that from, there we are, hallelujah. My beautiful dear little Nana and Grandad now then. My beautiful dear little Nana Bear had it. So with the thyroid, you can either lose weight, okay, and well, that's how it goes, or you can either put weight on and that's how it goes. So you could either be running here, there and everywhere, or you could just stay still. Okay, Mardish babies. Very fascinating when they called it thyroid cancer, myself, Mardish babies. But mind you, I have heard over recent years that ones have had their thyroids removed. Well, if you have your thyroid removed, then that means you've got no, like our saliva, what we got now. Well, it makes it that you've got a very dry mouth and a dry throat, Mardish babies, yeah. Anyway, it's quite amazing, isn't it? That when you surround yourself, you know what I mean, Martin, babies, yes, you surround yourself with ones who, call themselves a daddy of the vax, you know what I mean, Martin, babies. But you must remember, my little lovelies, that we've got the key, we got the secret, we got the keys to another place. We've got the keys. We got the secret. We got the keys to another place. Finally, yeah, I hear that Albania has the deal gone through or something. Has it gone through? Hmm. So when were the Albanians? Only from what I heard. Only from what I heard. If I've got it incorrect, I've got it incorrect. Hands up, baby, hands up. Give me your heart, give me your heart, give me hands up, baby, hands up. Yeah. So it seems mad, little babies, yes. That So when were the Albanians asked about it? And going back to our lovely UK column today, just before I leave my video, mad little babies. Well, very interesting because I've been done saying this. There we are, ding ding dong dong for many, many, many years. You see, when you look at the influx of who we've been having coming into our country, I'm not even going to go down that road. Anybody who knows me knows who I am. I do not need to, do you know what I mean? It just gets so infuriating. Okay, Martish baby, so I'm just going to get to the point. I agreed with dear Mark now in a UK column, so bless you, dear Mike, and not in that way, not in that way. What I'm saying is, I've been done saying this for, there we are, whatever o'clock. You know what I mean? Oh, you know, I've just got came into my noddle. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, cracking all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, rocking all the time. Elvis, wasn't it? So I've just had that. Just as I was just talking, mad baby. So what's the point I'm saying? The point is, mad babies, is this. And by the way, I do respect dear what's his name? Because everybody knows I love our lovely, not in that way, not in that way, our lovely Brian Gerrish. But dear Charles. Okay, Martish babies. Yeah, dear Charles. Oh, bless you. Yeah, East Riding, New Yorkshire. Yes, yes. There are. Yes. Okay. A lot went on over there, didn't it? In our beautiful dear Hull. Yes. Okay. Over many, 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 many decades. Decades. Did you just hear what I just said? Okay, Martish babies, what these little effers, there we are, have done. Okay, and they cut the flipping fishing trade, there we are, and to do Grimsby everywhere. Anyway, to whom it may concern now then, isn't it? I'm just done saying it. I know what you've done, isn't it? As you know, the way that they treat us, you see, they can run, isn't it? But they can't hide, just like what they want to do with us, with all the fucking face recognition and all this shit. Okay, mad babies, okay. But yeah, Albania, let's swing back to there, shall we? So, who asked Albania? But let's swing back to our country. So, for what they've done on over the decades with wars, yeah, I totally agreed with dear Mark. Yes, I did. And I've been done saying this for whatever o'clock, whatever year. I do not need to listen to video nor for me to know, isn't it? This is what we're getting. What's the old-fashioned saying? You get, there we are, what they don't give you, old-fashioned Jamaican saying. And this is now what we're suffering. No thanks to our putrid governments who, instead of getting a backburn, decided to take a ka-ching, ching, 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 ching. Okay, my British babies, that's what's gone on. Simple things. We do not have to make this any more simpler. Okay, Martish babies, but let's just get back to Gary Waterman. Let's swing back over to Gary, bless him. Please look at the comments that I send. Now, normally, like I said, it's just usually, thank you, Gary, bright blessings to you always. Okay, usually, like I said, I'll say one more time, I keep everything usually short and sweet. But it appears it is getting rather stressed. So I just send chill, you know, just there we are, didn't need stumble there, chillax. I said, because I've been spied on forever. There we are, I still am now. I mean, I feel personally that I've gone through the worst. There we are, at this moment in time. I feel that I have. Okay? Was I ever scared? No. Was I a bit stressed at times? Of course. If you've got it, 24/7, you would be. But was I ever scared? No. Because I know for myself that if it come down to it now, then let me tell you, all arms and legs will be going right now as I'm talking to you, my little babies, you know what I mean? And I will find any way, there we are, to get myself out of the shit. You know what I mean? I never left home at 15 and had a hard life before it. There we are, to not learn nothing. Do you understand me? Yes. So what I was trying to do in the comments, there we are, was calm dear Gary down because somebody had approached his tent. Bless his dear little soul, not in that way, not in that way. And he says something to do with a Pokemon. Well, I remember talking about Pokemon long time ago on my video. There we are, on my videos, like Pac-Man. I remember when I was helping to bring up my beautiful little youngest baby brother, okay, my babies, and he used to have these packs of Pokemon. So out of his pocket money that I used to give him and everything, you know what I mean? So I used to pay for, everything for him, okay? Because I'm a home on a mortgage, and, I make sure that he's looked after now. You know what I mean? But the point of the matter is, and I still want a cure to whom it may concern for what you have done. And you know who you are now, isn't it? There we are. You know who you are. And I want a cure for my brother as well. Right? Right. There we are. So you better find it soon. Please and thank you. Okay, anyway, I shouldn't even say it, but I was brought up with good manners. But the point of the matter is, Martish babies, we go back to the Pokemon, we go back to the Pac-Man. Do you know what I mean, Martish babies, Sky? And the fact of the matter is this. I was done saying it, whatever, there we are, a clock ago. And then all of a sudden now somebody come up to his tent and chatting about flipping Pokemon. You know what I mean, Martish babies, and what it is. Okay, I do understand that, dear Gary's getting a little bit stressed. But let me tell you, I put in the comments, I said, look, I said, if they really wanted rid of you, basically, okay, you have to read the comment to understand what I'm saying. Yes, with the different comments. I was doing my best to keep him calm, to chillax, okay? Because if they wanted rid of him, they'd get, here come the men in black, Galaxy Defenders. That's what they do, Martish, but they don't ramp. They don't do the dirty work the damn selves. There we are. They get all the Egypts. There we are, because that is what they are, the Egypts. You know what I mean? They're not dangerous. No, in reality, nobody's dangerous. Yes, it can appear so if somebody approaches you or something like this now then, but you have to look at the medication, you have to look at other things going on in their nodules to see how they're operating. Yes, it's like machinery. Look at a car, look at a ship, look at a boat, look at a motorbike, look at I got a brand new carbon harvester and I'll give you the key. Look at anything. It's a machinery. So you and I are like machinery. So we have our top to our toes. We have all of these different organs. And we have our brain, our nodules. Look at machinery. It works exactly the same. Okay, my dish baby. So it appears to myself, never mind farm animals, we are classed as a piece of machinery that the little fuckers, there we are, they simple things they cannot fucking crack. And it is getting, there we are, more and more and more apparent, my little babies, that this is not happening, isn't it? So what do? Congratulations and celebrations, because at the end of the day, you know, and I know, Martish babies, that this is not going very well. So even though you can see some parts of my grey, actually, I think it looks all right. I'm being serious, Martish, but I actually think it looks quite cool, actually. You know, like you got this bit here, and then it's quite dark there. Then it goes a bit light again. So to any women out there or any men, Martish babies, if you've got a little bit of grey here and there, a little bit of black and grey, don't worry about it, Martish babies. Just, but if you are getting concerned, maybe a little bit of castor oil will do the job. Anyway, Martish babies, so wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. And how I love you so. You're so beautiful, wonderful, and delicious. There we are. And I love you. Okay? But just remember the tree. There's lots of different trees. There's lots of different, every tree has their reality. Just like every mankind has their reality. Every our beautiful little babies, there we are, they have their realities. We all have, there we are, our own realities. So I wouldn't call it a story. I would call it, there we are, a reality. Okay, my delicious little babies, but nevertheless, some nuts, there we are harder to crack than others. You know what I mean? I've always believed in the old-fashioned saying, my delicious little babies. You can always look at the menu, but you don't need to order. Maybe that's what these, to whom it may concern, there we are, concerned about. You know what I mean? Because for those cells, there we are, they have to order. But for our cells, there we are, we have a choice. Anyway, so until my next video, my artish babies, how I love you so. You just look after now. Lot of information, there we are, in this video. Not many will see, but there's always someone seeing and there's always someone hearing. And we must remember it's a circle, circle, circle. But what we must also remember is keep those wheels rolling. Love ya. Take care. Thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments. How I love you also. Okay? We all stand together. Not inciting anything. I'll never do that, my dish babies. How I love you so. Bless. Goodbye.